What's going on, everybody? Colin here with Techout, and today I want to talk about the iPhone 17 Pro Max versus Samsung's Galaxy S26 Ultra, the two flagships right now. Obviously, this one came out in 2025, and this one just released a few weeks ago here in 2026. But they are still the current flagships right now, competing each other. And I just want to kind of go over what I like, the differences. So first things first, I am using both of these at the same time. This has my work sim in it. I will also run my personal and my work sim on the 17 Pro Max time to time and use just this. I haven't put my work sim on the S26 Ultra at all yet. So I've just been using this with my personal sim on and off. But there's a few things I like here about the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and it's mainly carried over from the S25 Ultra, but there are a few improvements that I really do enjoy. One of them is the privacy screen. I have it set to just double tap the power button. I know there's kind of a reflection over there from the window, but that's privacy screen on, and that's privacy screen off. As you can see, it does make a pretty noticeable difference. It is pretty noticeable in person. Like if I have it like this right here, I can't see what's on the screen. I mean, I can kind of see like the outlines of some of the icons, but I mean, I can't read any text or see any images or anything like that. And then if I turn it off, I can see that that's the weather widget, and I can make out each individual icon. So if somebody's sitting next to you, you definitely will not be able to, see what is on somebody else's phone, or they won't be able to see what's on your phone rather. And that's just the standard mode. You can also enable the max protection. If you turn on the max protection though, I've actually got one of the routines set. So if I double tap my volume up button, that will turn on the privacy display with the max protection. As you can see, it does make the screen kind of gray, as opposed to if you use it with just without the max protection. So I really only recommend using that if you're like absolutely like really like sardines in a can on a plane or something like that next to somebody, and you don't want them seeing what's on your screen, because it does make the screen quality worse. There's been a lot of complaints, people talking about the screen quality on in general, even with the privacy display off, and that's not something that I really notice. Again, I know there's a little bit of a reflection from the light, but I'm not really noticing any kind of screen issues, quality-wise or resolution-wise or anything like that. I mean, I'm running with the full UHD screen resolution. Obviously, I don't use the full HD that it's set to by default, so you're going to want to change it to QHD Plus when you get the phone out of the box, because it is going to be on FHD by default. But I'm not seeing any issues or screen quality issues. Maybe if you have a sensitive eye or something like that, you might notice it, but I'm not seeing it. So one of the cool things, maybe Apple will come out with something like that on a new iPhone. They're probably a couple years out from that, since how Samsung just dropped it. But of course we've got that, and then we've got the S Pen, which has made the Note and the Ultra for quite some time now. Hopefully they're going to continue that. There's been some on and off rumors about them maybe dropping it in favor of some other features, like the magnets built in, or maybe even a bigger battery, or some new battery technology. That is one of my pet peeves about the Galaxy S25 or S26 Ultra, is the fact that if you want magnets, you do have to use a case. And the problem with that is this one is just a Spigen case, but I've also got the D-brand Ghost case here. And as you can see with the camera bump on the S25 or S26 Ultra rather, is it is quite a big little lip right here, which is very, very close to the magnet. So the issue I run into is if you have something that really, really needs to be lined up with the magnet right there, such as like a Qi 2 battery or a Qi 2 wireless charger, or something like that. More so batteries than like just this stands, like I have like the Anker stands, because the batteries are a little bit bigger. But my Anker battery will not sit flush on the back of the case. It bumps into that bump. Samsung actually just released their own Qi 2 battery pack, which has a kind of cutout on the top, so you can turn it either which way, like if you have your phone like that or if you have your phone like that, and it will not interfere with the bump. So you've got to be careful with third-party accessories, because the magnets are so close to the camera lip that a lot of them will not sit on there right. Some of them won't even stick to the magnet very well because of that lip, which is kind of weird because they put all that on there. The phone is Qi 2 certified, so it has the Qi 2 wireless charging up to 25 watts with Qi 2.2. But you need a case to use it, and then when you're using the case, the battery, or the camera bump interferes with a lot of accessories. So it's very hit or miss on what works and how well it works, as opposed to just, the iPhone, where you've got it right here. Pretty much everything will stick. And the phone also has its own built-in magnets as well, so you don't even have to use a case. So that's my pet peeve on the S26 Ultra. It was also my pet peeve on the S25 Ultra because it also had Qi 2, is you need a case to use any of those accessories. It's not built into the phone. Some of those cases do interfere with the S Pen. So sometimes you will get a warning up here that the magnets may interfere with the S Pen. I only have gotten the warning so far, ironically enough, on Samsung's first party case, but I have found that most of my magnet cases do interfere. Usually only if they have something on the back, like if I put my wallet on the back and I try to use the S Pen, the circle area where the magnet is, it will cut out right there. So usually if you just have the case on by itself and you don't have an accessory on the back, you're fine. So you may just have to remove your accessory to use whatever you're trying to use. But those are the few gripes that I have with it. Other than that, the battery life has been pretty good. We just got the update today when I'm making the video with the AirDrop functionality, so I can AirDrop from my Galaxy to my iPhone or to my iPad or Mac, which is really nice because some of the apps I use on my phone, I use to create like video thumbnails and stuff like that, or edit a thumbnail, and then I can just straight AirDrop it to my Mac when I want to upload it to YouTube. So that's pretty nice, pretty handy feature there. But everything else has been going good. Again, screen quality is really good. I like the screen. I like the colors and stuff like that. I don't really have anything to complain about other than the magnets. The 60 watt wireless charging, that is also another thing that's hit or miss. I have a cable that displays the wattage on it. I also have plenty of Anker chargers that display the wattage on them and batteries that display the output on them. And I found that when you're using the phone, and I don't mean like just like using the phone like heavily, like it's heating up, because obviously that's going to slow down the charging. But I mean, if you plug in the phone with the screen on, I found that you only get like 30 to 40 watts of charging. I rarely ever see it go above like 50, 52. It very rarely ever hits 60. And it ramps down pretty quickly. I mean, it only maintains like 50, 52 watts for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then it starts ramping down. You'll be like 45, 40. And if you're doing anything with the screen on, it really only hits about 30, 33 in my testing. I have not seen it go much above that or maintain anywhere near 60 for any length of time. Now that being said, it will charge from about 20 to 100% in about 45 minutes to an hour, again depending on usage and depending on temperature and stuff like that. So the times seem to be about what Samsung is saying, but it's not hitting 60 watts and staying there as long as I think it should or could. So that's just one thing with the wired charging, but I don't wired charge it too much. I usually do use a case with my Anker stand on my nightstand, or in my car. I have a magnetic mount as well. So that's why I usually just use a case. I really don't want to use a case. I like the way the phone feels, without a case. I guess like I don't have one on it right now, but you do need the case for those magnetic accessories, which is a downside in my opinion. I think that's where the iPhone is the winner right now, is having all those, built into it and stuff like that. And it does seem to maintain its charge better on, the 45 watts that the iPhone 17 Pro Max is capable of. It doesn't seem to kind of thermal throttle its charging, wireless or wired, as fast as the S25 Ultra does. But other than that, I really do like the Ultra. There's things I like about both. I'm actually a pretty big fan of liquid glass, surprisingly, because I know a lot of people have their opinions about that, but I am a pretty big fan of liquid glass. And I still think iOS OS-wise and the apps built for iOS are still a little better than the apps built for Galaxies and Android in general. But one thing that Samsung announced at the event is the AI and Gemini and all that kind of stuff. As you guys remember, I did a video. If you haven't seen it, I did a video on Gemini ordering my food via Grubhub, DoorDash, and the McDonald's app I have found also works. You can just tell it what you want. If you want it for pickup or delivery, and it will go through the app on its own. In the background, you can be doing something else, and it will get your order all set up, tell you when it's done. You just go in there and check it over and hit place order, and you're done. You don't have to go in there and find all the food yourself and scroll through and search restaurants and that kind of stuff. It will do all that for you. It also works for ordering an Uber, Uber Eats and Uber, rides, ride sharing and stuff like that. So if you're walking down the street and you need to order an Uber, you just tell it where you're at, have it order you an Uber, pull your phone back out. It's already set, ready to go. You confirm the price, confirm everything's correct, and you just, confirm it, hit done, and it's good to go. So that's actually pretty cool. Apple and Apple Intelligence is still very, very really lacking behind, in their, all the voice stuff with Siri and all that kind of stuff is still behind. We have not got anything with Siri 2.0 yet. It kind of got delayed. hoping in iOS 26.5 we'll get something like that, but we still have not seen any updates for that. It might be iOS 27 before we get to see anything in terms of Apple actually getting somewhere with Apple Intelligence. So there's where we're at right now. Kind of a little review on the Galaxy S26 Ultra and an iPhone comparison at the same time. So thank you guys for watching. I am Colin with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day.